Hi Gemini, this is your January 2022 spiritual reading. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, your first house, we have the new moon. Second house, we have Juno. Third house, we have Taurus. Fourth house, we have Lilith. Fifth house, Scorpio. And sixth house, we have Chiron. All right. All right, so first house, we have the new moon. For some of you, your first house could actually be empty, so you have no planets in there. So whatever sign your rising is, you really do embody that sign's energy. But also with the new moon, this could also be that you guys are kind of a mirror for people. So this could go two ways. Either you find yourself, like when you're around different people, your energy changes. Not your personality, but just like you're a different person with person A than you are with person B. And it's not because you're fake or two-faced. It's because your aura is very crystal. So you literally pick up on people's energies and you are able to embody them. And so for you guys, it's vital for you to surround yourself with positive people and people that you want to be like, not negative people, not anyone toxic, because it's very easy for you to pick up on energies. This could also be that your aura is like a mirror. So you find that at the end of the day, no one really knows you or gets you. And it's because they kind of see themselves in you. Like I was saying, when you pick up on their energy, you're mirroring their energy back to them. But that can feel lonely sometimes because it's like, well, no one really understands me. No one really sees me. Let's see. I'm a Gemini also, and this reading really resembles my natal chart. So this is an interesting one for me. Whoa, okay. We have interesting, because I was going to say you guys could have a Virgo rising or an Earth rising. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So yeah, you might feel very alone at times and very, like sometimes it can get to you that like you could be surrounded by hundreds of people and still feel like no one really actually sees you. So it's not that you're necessarily lonely. No one knows the real you. No one gets you. It's like people might come up to you and tell you like, wow, like there's something very familiar about you, or like it's so easy to talk to you because they're really talking to themselves. And whereas you never get to feel that yourself, you never are able to experience that yourself. It's like you're always the one being there and giving people what they need and really being able to see their truth because you're able to feel their energy, and it's never reciprocated. Let's see. I just want to find a solution. Like I want there to be an answer, some way to help you with that. But I think one thing to remember is that everyone we only see ourselves in the world. No one really ever sees another human being. This whole world is a reflection of ourselves. A lot of spiritual teachers, like, they say, you're the only one here. This is all your dream. And so always remember that, like, you don't need anyone to see you as long as you see yourself. And you're able to give yourself whatever it is that you think you need from other people. Let's see. We have the 8 of Swords. I don't know if there's really a solution to this or an answer to it. It's just really understanding that, like I was saying, we all only see our own reflections, but for you it's a little bit different because you're able to pick up on people's energy so well. Just know that about yourself. But also, one thing, because you're able to pick up on people's energies, if you're not aware of this, if you're not mindful of why you feel a certain way around different people, you might not be able to decipher your own energy from theirs. So if you're around someone very anxious or depressed, you might actually pick up on their energy and carry it with you and feel depressed or feel anxious for quite a while. And so for you guys, it's very vital to make sure you're protecting your energy. How you do that: before you go out, before you meet anyone, close your eyes, center yourself, and imagine just whatever color, whatever bubble that feels like protection to you, and surround yourself with that, and set the intention that this will protect me and protect my energy from everyone I come across today. That feels like that's something that you might not know or recognize. So like in the beginning of your life, you might experience a lot of anxiety and a lot of different emotions. And this is why. Like, you'll later realize what the cause is, and it will help you be able to protect yourself and know that, hey, this isn't mine. I'm not gonna adopt it, and I'm not gonna make it a part of myself just because I've picked it up from someone. Sorry, Gemini, someone came knocking. All right, your second house, we have Juno. I also have Juno in my second house. For you guys, a romantic partner, in the sense of like the person that you are gonna marry, is someone who is very well off. They really take care of themselves. They care about how they look, how they dress. They're well groomed. You need someone who is very confident, and like feels good about themselves and takes care of themselves. Let's see. Yeah, some of you could be at a place where you've been questioning, like, what do I want in love? Like, what is good for me? What, like, you're reflecting on all your exes and why it didn't work out, what traits, you're attracted to that don't serve you. And it feels like something to remember. And this is, again, for a very long-term relationship. You need someone who is truly confident in themselves and takes care of themselves, and is someone that you can be proud of. You have very high standards for yourself, and it feels like you need someone who's aligned with you, not someone that you're embarrassed by or that you have to change. You guys, it feels like really a Zeus and Hera kind of couple. Like, you guys are you're a power couple. Very, very high standards. So just make sure that when it comes to love, that's a priority for you. Whereas I think in the past, you may have dealt with people that you wouldn't be proud to take home. Or like you wanted them to act differently or dress differently or not make certain jokes. Like that is very important for you. And it's gonna be a make or break when it comes to a connection. So keep that in mind. All right, your third house, we have Taurus. Interesting. All right, let's see. We have Strength, a Leo. When it comes to, like I was saying, like the way your mind works, the way you think, the way you speak, it feels like you carry yourself very well. You've experienced a lot in your life. You guys could have been very abundant growing up, or you experienced a lot of abundance in your life. So it's like the way you speak makes people feel like you're in a position of power for some reason. It feels like a lot of people might not feel like they're aligned to you or they're able to have a conversation with you because you have these expectations, these standards that other people just aren't able to meet. Leo is, is royalty, is a king and queen, and it feels like that's the kind of vibe you give off when you speak to people. You have this very grand and respectable energy about you when you speak. It makes people respect you, and it makes them want to listen to you and have something to look up to work towards. So be mindful of that. Your words have a lot of power. The way you communicate with people, it energetically gets their attention. So, always remember karma is a constant thing in our life. So make sure that when you're talking to someone, you're not intentionally, giving anyone the wrong advice, which I don't think that you ever will. But it's just like be extra mindful of when you're speaking to people who need advice, like give them share the wisdom that you have. Share the experiences that you've been through. Be open to communicating with people who may need or want your help and your guidance. I feel like that will bring you a lot of good karma, and that feels like a very significant part of your destiny is anyone that you communicate with, even just once, you have an impact on. So make the most of that. All right, so your fourth house is your home, your roots, your emotional foundation, and we have Lilith. You guys could like a darker home. Not like no lights, but it's like, medieval castles and like industrial colors, like the dark brown and metal. It also feels like you guys might like candles. You'd rather light a candle or a fire instead of having artificial light. It's interesting because Gemini is very it's a very light energy. It's very easygoing. It's not too deep, but it does feel like there's a side of you, there's a part of you that's very deep, and very connected to that divine mother, that scorpionic, that darker energy. And it might come out for you guys in your home and the way you decorate your home. You might like have a lot of crystals, whereas other people might have like orange and yellow and pink. Yours is like dark purple and onyx and black crystals, or just you feels like you'd rather surround yourself with that kind of energy, with that kind of decorations. We have the Knight of Swords. It's funny because everything is a way of communication, right? How we speak, how we dress, it sends a message. And it feels like for you guys, your Lilith, your rebellious side, your, Eve is the good girl kind of, who, she's the good one, whereas Lilith is the rebellious one. And it feels like when people come into your home, they see a completely different side of you. That's where they see this more rebellious, like, I don't care what the normal is. I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to, it just feels like that doesn't meet people's expectations of you, but not in a bad way at all. It's just that's the area of your life where you kind of let this other part of you out, this other side of you out. Let's see. It's interesting because with your reading, it's not really like there's something intense going on in your life or a spiritual lesson that you're meant to learn. This is just like telling you things about yourself that I feel like you don't recognize, because you guys are very, very powerful energies, like, and you embody a lot. You're not just, it's like no one can ever define you. And it's important to remember this, because you're someone that people are in awe of, they want to listen to, they're intrigued by, and that's a lot of power to give someone. Like, you draw people's attention. What are you going to do with that? And I feel like this reading is just reminding you of all of these different aspects of yourself, of all these ways that people see you. So you're able to kind of remember, oh wait, wow, like, I do have this power. I was given this power, and I have to be very intentional about how I'm going to use it. But yeah, like I was saying, with your home, again, it feels like it's where people see this darker, deeper side of you. I don't know why that would be important for you. Like, if you guys, you don't want to show the world that side of yourself, be mindful of who you bring into your home. Because I do feel like, again, there's something, like, you really do care about your reputation, and there's a certain standard that you live by, and you want people to see that about you. You want people to respect you. And if you feel like this isn't connected, it doesn't fit into that image, just be mindful of that, I guess. But there's, it's a part of you. If you're ashamed, be careful you're not ashamed of it, because that, then it becomes a shadow, and it becomes something that can build and build, and that will be really difficult to heal later on. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's also okay if, like, you don't want to let everyone in to that side of you or that aspect of you. I don't know, take it how it resonates. That's an interesting one. This resonates with me completely, but also I love when people see my home. Like, whereas in the past I never showed this side of me, like this darker side, this more deeply spiritual, connected to that scorpionic energy. I was afraid of what they would think, but now it's like I embrace it. I love that side of me. I'm so connected to it. And it, if you guys aren't there yet, that's completely fine. Just be aware that that's something that could become a shadow if you don't learn to integrate it and to honor it as a part of you. All right, so your 5th house, we have Scorpio. again, there is this light, Gemini is duality. You really do embody this light and dark. And it feels like when it comes to your more personal life, that's where you experience a lot of this darker energies. You could be attracted to Scorpios a lot, to people who are more mysterious, who are very different, who stand out. You're intrigued by them. But again, it feels like not a lot of these people fit into that image that you present to the world. And so when it comes to who you're going to end up with, it's very important to be mindful of this. Like, your dating life, you're attracted to this out of the box kind of people, but it's not someone that you can be with long term, because a big part of your values is being respected and carrying this reputation. Like, you don't want anyone to taint your reputation, and it feels like you may be drawn to people who might do that. So it's like who you're attracted to isn't who you're going to be able to have a long-term connection with. So when it comes to your love life, it might actually be quite a bit of a struggle, because you have to be very intentional and like kind of, I don't normally like to say this, but to not, I don't think it's your heart that draws you to these people. It's just your intrigue of the dark. And it's not until you recognize it and integrate it within yourself that it's only then that you'll stop being drawn to it into other people. Because whoever we're attracted to is because they're showing us an aspect of ourselves that we haven't discovered yet. And again, it feels like there's a part of you that is still a little bit disconnected from your dark side. And once you reconnect with that, that's when you'll be drawn to someone who you could actually have a long-term connection with. But for now, it feels like for a significant portion of your life, you're attracted to people who aren't meant to be with you forever, but who are only meant to help show you a side of yourself that you haven't fully integrated. So be mindful of that. All right, your sixth house, we have Chiron. Sixth house, it can be your health, it can be your daily, day-to-day activity, activities, your routines. Let's see. Why is Chiron there? We have Hierophant. And we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Wow, this one's deep. If you guys are into Carl Jung, he has an interesting perspective on the connection between, your connection to yourself, to this integration process, and your health. And it feels like for you guys, again, something that you experience in your life is in the beginning of it, you're very disconnected from your own darker side. And again, it's because some of you may have grown up in a family that acts a certain way and has this certain reputation. And like even with tarot, for example, they might not be supportive of stuff like that, of spirituality, of that scorpionic energy, but it's a part of every single one of us. And for you in particular, it's half of you. It's a 50% of who you truly are. And it feels like in the beginning of your life, you're very disconnected from it. And as long as that disconnection takes place, one, not only do you attract people who, again, will never lead to long-term connections and might not be people that you are going to have an easy connection with, but also it can actually really affect your health, because you're essentially killing off a big part of you. And so you have to, that feels like it shows itself in your physical health. And the longer that you remain disconnected from it, the more intense that becomes. So your job, your spiritual mission really isn't just for right now or this month. It's like the second half of your life is when you really need to focus on integrating your shadow side and your darker side, things that you're ashamed of or you don't want to show people. Like, ask yourself, why? Are you embarrassed? If so, remember, you're like disconnecting yourself from a part of you. Learn to let go of that shame and learn to embrace all sides of yourself. It's not healthy to keep parts of you a secret, especially parts of you that you're very connected to. Again, it could be your spirituality that's become very important for you, but you don't want people to know about it. You're afraid of, what it will do to your reputation and how people view you. But that's something that you're going to have to learn to work with and learn to embrace and accept about yourself, and be proud of it and not be ashamed of people seeing you for who you are. All right, Gemini, let's see. Are there any other messages? We have number 12, Hex, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. There's, again, deep shadow work that needs to take place for you. And these enemies of yours, these inner demons, are the shame, are the embarrassment of aspects of yourself. And the way you recognize it, like, think about what you don't want to show people. What you think about you will ruin your reputation or will make people think less of you. And work with that. Whatever those are, learn to embrace them, learn to love them, and learn to let go of that shame and that embarrassment, and reintegrate it as a part of yourself. So it's something visible now. It's something that you show the world and that you're not embarrassed of anymore. It feels like that's something, and it feels like you go through a majority of your life disconnected or partially disconnected from this aspect of yourself, and then something happens. You go through a very significant awakening that reconnects you, and it kind of saves you, which that's something I experienced as well. I was at a point where I had no reason to stay anymore. Like, there was nothing. I felt like such a fraud. And when I was pushed into that dark night of the soul, it was my spiritual side, my darker side, my intrigue and love for that scorpionic energy and for that healing, not being afraid to face, these pains and traumas that I've experienced. And that is what saved me. That is what gave me a purpose, gave me a reason to live. And when you experience something like that, there's no way that you can remain ashamed of it. And I feel like for you guys, again, this is something that you experience. Something happens in your life. An awakening takes place for you that reconnects you. But yeah, until then, you see glimpses of it in your home and also in people that you date or that you're drawn to. And then once you do integrate that, then it's like everything shifts. Like, the kind of people you attract changes. How open you are changes. How you present yourself, everything changes for you. But yeah, it's like you go through a significant shift once in your life that connects you and makes you whole, makes you truly embody this duality and to truly experience both sides fully. All right, Gemini, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense, because these are very deep concepts and they're hard to grasp at times, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.